This is the Uptick Newswire Stock Day podcast, sponsored by InvestorsHangout.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube to stay up to date on penny stock news and interviews, public information on OTC, pink sheets, and microcap stocks from around the world, with your host, Everett Jolly.
On today's show, we have a returning guest. I've been waiting for this guy to return back to my show because every time I talk to him, he's always got interesting news and he's got powerful news. We're talking no other than William Hartman. He is the CEO of Premier Biomedical. Well, they trade on the OTCQB under the ticker symbol BIEI. Bill, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Everett. Today we will break the mold and discuss 13 major developments for Premier Biomedical Incorporated. First, let me review a bit of very important history for those new listeners to set the stage for the rest of my presentation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we started out as an R&D company with focus in three technology areas: a potential industry best drug versus breast cancer, and that beat chemotherapy and, frankly, the leading breast cancer and a drug on the market in mice. But very simply, we ran out of money. Number two, a potential cure for PTSD, and we were able to take pooled CSF, cerebrospinal fluid, from soldiers with PTSD and eliminate the cytokines responsible for PTSD in a matter of just seconds. But again, it's money. And three, we had a patented pain medication, which is also a treatment for chemical and alcohol addiction. We have a patent on that, and that includes low-dose naltrexone and cyclobenzaprine in combination, with cyclobenzaprine is a muscle relaxer. But I won't restate what I've said on previous broadcasts because we have a limited time today, and the material is thoroughly explained on our website at www.premierbiomedical.com. In summary, we were faced with the necessity of reinventing the company. By that I mean we were forced to develop technology products that would produce revenue to enable the company and its stockholders to prosper. We can't continue to borrow money. We borrowed ourselves down to an absolute penny or less, and that couldn't go on, so we had to reinvent the company. In order to do that, we were forced to borrow the initial funds. I got something else ringing here. I'll shut that off. Okay, apologize for that. In order to do that, we were forced to borrow the initial funds to bring about that transition. That reformation is what we initiated on February 1st of 2017, when we went into the pain management business with a 50-state legal, all-natural, opioid-free, non-toxic, drug test-safe series of topical pain management products that we consider the best in the industry. And a lot of our users say the same thing. That was just a few short months ago. Going forward, we hope that the sales revenue from our topical pain management products will reduce or eliminate the necessity to borrow additional funds. Now for our aggressive 13-point plan, specifics to further improve our products and make the $112 billion pain management industry respond positively to us, and might I add, also increase our stock value. Number one, we have integrated the CBD pain management business into Premier Biomedical and have closed the joint venture. It's no longer in effect. CBD topical pain products fit with our issued patent on our pain medication combination consisting of one of the drugs most widely used to treat chemical and alcohol addiction. That's low-dose naltrexone. This is a real synergy between our patented drug combination and our CBD-based topical pain formulations that enables us to focus more attention on the entire pain management business. Number two, these pain products will be installed into a pain management division, and I think we've said that on a prior press release or CEO letter, while our anti-cancer developments and PTSD cure will be in a separate biologics division. We are still engaged in several discussions to find a suitable partner to work with us in the biologics division, but we're still waiting. We've had several inquiries and several proposals, but nothing that made sense to me. Number 3, we have made all of our topical pain patches and roll-on applicators via hand operations to date. We simply could not expand our distributorships nor plan for the future until we had resolved our formulation improvements and had developed a reliable volume manufacturer to our specifications. So on our formulations, we have decided on increasing the content on our current 96-hour pain patch to 50 milligrams of CBD. That's the most in the industry. We have chosen to retain the slight sage smell that the public has embraced, but we have made other formulation changes that should improve our best-in-market performance even more. So that's on the pain patches. Now on our 10 milliliter roll-on applicator choices will consist of one with 120 milligrams of CBD and a water-based formulation with a slight lavender scent. And that is that's relatively new with us, and a lot of customers that have used that really prefer it. But we have those who still perform our oil-based 10 milliliter formulation and at 110 milligrams of CBD. Very effective, might I add. But we're bumping that up to 150 milligrams of CBD. That's an enormous increase. And again, we'll retain the slight sage scent. The latter will be the highest CBD content among competitive roll-ons in the industry and should be a winner in the marketplace. Interestingly, users have reported that our roll-on applicators last 6 weeks or more in normal use. And I've heard sometimes even longer than that. Number 4, now that we have resolved the difficult volume manufacturing problem, we will aggressively expand our distribution network. We haven't been able to do that up till now because I didn't have any product. We intend to utilize the very successful relationships we have developed with RX Express, it's a local pharmacy, and Dr. Vinton's Pain Clinic, both in Grove City, Pennsylvania, as a template to expand to other cities and states throughout the United States, Canada, and Mexico. And interestingly enough, even beyond that, into the world. And I'll get into that later. Number 5, we have been working with the Chronic Illness Bloggers, a worldwide group, to request them to evaluate the effectiveness of our products to relieve pain. We gave them samples free. We've had a number of very positive evaluations from this group to date, including an excellent report from a user in the UK, and have included these evaluations in the many voluntary testimonies we have received since we went into business just in February 1st. We expect more positive evaluations of our current products from this group, and will utilize their excellent services to evaluate each new product we develop. Interestingly enough, these evaluations appear on our website, and people can read them, the testimonies. I mean, these testimonies are very powerful, and I'm going to talk more about that in just a minute. We have initiated contact with Amazon to further expand the sales we are getting from our website at www.painreliefmeds.com, as well as from our direct distributors. We think that if we are successful in launching an Amazon connection, it will increase our sales geometrically, and we're pretty excited about that. Number 7, and this has received a lot of comment, Everett, because we've mentioned this in the past, but we've been working with a pharmacy by mail distributor for almost 3 months, and we were assured they were going to go with us immediately, but because they distribute to all 50 states, and that could be a big deal for us. We had hoped to sign them up by now, but we were unable to forecast at that time that they would go through 2 major corporate reorganizations in that time frame. They sacked the president and 4 or 5 board members. Then the interim president was hired, and 60 days later, he was gone. So they've gone through an enormous change. But we've continued working with them and have not let frustration with their corporate decision-making stop us. We still remain hopeful and cautiously optimistic, but cannot guarantee the results. We continue to hope for a positive outcome, but are prepared to pursue other venues if not successful with them. Simply stated, we're going to go to somewhere else if they can't resolve their problem. Okay, I'm sorry, I got phones ringing elsewhere. Okay. Number 8, a potential European distributor has contacted us to investigate the possibility of a drop ship agreement. We are still working with them to resolve all issues. They're having trouble raising the money, but they've shown a lot of interest. And we intend to develop other offshore distributors as our business expands. And of course, now we have the capacity to do that. Interestingly enough, they started the business by distributing on social media and asking people if they would be interested in buying this product and what price range. And they came up with 10,000 positive hits, and that prompted them to attempt to get into the business. Now they're having a little difficulty raising the funds, but that's a good way to start a business. Get the customers before you invest the money. Number 9, many of the voluntary testimonies that we've received to date indicate that the users of our products were able to achieve true pain relief and stop the use of dangerous opioid painkillers. Since we have seen estimates that opioid-related deaths now exceed the death rate from automobile accidents. And that's incredible. We believe that the time is right to petition the national and state agencies to evaluate our all-natural pesticide and solvent-free products as a recommended alternative to opioid-based dangerous prescription pain pills, which often lead to heroin addiction and death. Interestingly enough, Ohio is suing 5 of the largest pharmaceutical companies over this opioid death issue. And Missouri has joined them, and I understand other states are joining in. And you're going to see a rash of these states doing it, just like they did in the tobacco area. Ohio has seen 11% of the opioid-related deaths nationally just in Ohio alone. So that the politicians are coming to the party with real solutions, and they're going after big pharma. Number 10, we are planning to become the leader in the topical pain patch and roll-on applicator business by expanding our pain patch size options, and we're going to come out with a mini day patches, and they won't last for 4 days as our 2x2 does, but it's going to be a day patch, and it's going to be sold in a pack of 5. And we're going to continue our existing 2x2 patch, and we're going to expand into a proposed 4x4 patch, all of these with CBD, and we're going to call that our mega patch, and as well as providing both water-based and oil-based roll-on applicator formulations. And our oil-based roll-on applicator, even some of these with a larger ball and more volume, they're going to contain 150 milligrams of CBD in our oil-based version. That is the highest in the industry. We think that's going to be a winner. Number 11, we intend to petition the national insurance agencies and Medicare to urge them to consider covering the use of our all-natural pain relief products to further combat the increase in the use of dangerous opioid painkillers. We can't guarantee the acceptance of these organizations, but we're going to try. And I'm going to tell you why. I got that idea from some of our users. These people are typically in the 60-plus range, although some younger ones, but athletes and so forth. But the money's typically scarce with these people, some of these people anyway, and they're asking for insurance coverage. And I think with this opioid crisis coming to really increasing to a peak, I think the insurance companies, and particularly Medicare, may be willing to start covering our products on insurance coverage. So we're working on that anyway. Number 12, we're working with the VA, the Veterans Administration, to get their endorsement to use our topical pain patch relief products in lieu of opioid pain products in their hospitals. And I have that from a very good source. Our Chief Technical Officer, Dr. Patricio Reyes, is the head of neurology at the VA hospital in Phoenix. And he's told us that the VA has come out and said that they're now endorsing CBD as a medication to relieve pain. That's huge for us. And we've prepared a presentation an email, literally an electronic presentation, and are starting our process with one of the VA state executives, the president of the VA in one of the western states, and I won't, to save embarrassment, I won't identify her or the state. But our plan is to take our proposal to the national level as soon as possible via our established contacts. That's very important because if the VA comes out endorsing our products, we could get a huge increase in business. Number 13. And finally, we are considering the buyback of our stock because, simply stated, we consider it to be artificially low and a very good investment for the future. So we believe that as this plan, we're going to put out a series of press releases and this radio broadcast and others. We believe that our stock is going to take off, and we think it's a great investment. So we're going to initiate a buyback of some of that stock. In summary, we've been very busy building our business, and now that we have resolved the basic issue of developing an industry-best formulation, and we believe we have that now, have established a high-volume manufacturing system, which, by the way, very difficult to do. I mean, how many people out there have the tooling and have the capability to do this? Virtually almost no one. And we've been involved in a search for many months, and we've located somebody. And I went to out of state and met with those people just this last week, and we resolved everything, and the money's changed hands, and now we're going forward full speed. Anyway, our recent quiet period, and we've been quiet for a couple of months because we've been working on the business, as indicated by our 13-point plan, meant that we haven't been inactive. In fact, we've been very active. To the contrary, the above 13-point program has verified that we've been busier than ever in building the business. We thank our loyal stockholders and pledge that we will continue our efforts on their behalf. We also thank Uptick Newswire and Everett Jolly personally for the opportunity to get our message out to the market. We plan to release a flurry of related press releases in the very near future as we move forward to implement this very aggressive business plan. Anyway, Everett, I apologize. This is different than normal. Normally we go back and forth with Q&A and work together, but I believe this program was so important. I really prepared a script and worked on it many hours to make sure that we got this message exactly right, and we're set now to move forward very aggressively.
Company that we're highlighting today is Premier Biomedical. They trade on the OTCQB under the ticker symbol BIEI. Bill, I want to thank you for sharing that story with us and giving us the update. I'm sure that my listeners appreciate that, and I wish you nothing but continued success. Please don't stay a stranger. Come back on the show as soon as you got some more information. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to hear about your company.
Well, thank you, Everett. It's a pleasure working with you, and I wish you and your listeners the best. But even more than that, I wish the people that use our product, that's the important thing. You know, we're in this to serve people and meet needs, and that's our saying, and that's our pledge. And even more than that, not only the needs of people that are suffering in pain, but also the people that have been investors to us. We've been shipping product to Canada. We've had problems getting through Canadian customs. We're working with the U.S. Post Office to resolve that. We've been shipping product to Hawaii. We have orders from Australia. We have orders from the UK. We have orders from, and we think actually this is going to expand. We plan to expand our business to South America, through Brazil, used as a conduit. Mexico, obviously, we're already there, but we're looking for distributors in Mexico and Canada. We think that that's going to, shall we say, stop or alleviate the long waits in getting cross-border mail shipping. And we're looking at Europe. We're looking everywhere to expand this business. But now that we have the volume capacity problem resolved, we've made a huge buy, and we've got them in inventory, and that's great for us. That's great for everybody. The waits are going to be over. So thanks again to you and your listeners, and to our stockholders and our customers. Again, thank you, Everett.
Thanks, William.
This program is entirely sponsored and produced by Uptick Newswire, LLC, which is responsible for the content. The opinions and information provided on this program are those of the guests and those of the respective companies they represent, and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff or management of Uptick Newswire. Uptick Newswire encourages all listeners of this program to do their due diligence and research when determining investment strategies that will work for them, or to seek the assistance of an investment professional. The guests of this program may have paid for its distribution and are not directly affiliated with Uptick Newswire or this station.